Okay, mic check. It's 7:45. We're about to do After GMS live on the News 2 Facebook page. Mic check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. The details were released in the state budget last night. South Carolina lawmakers.
Hello there. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Humidity's coming back today. Don't like that.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on After GMS. It is Wednesday, June 29th. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris. Christian Morgan, are you fixing your tie?
I was.
Oh, cool, because it's picture day.
Yeah, that's right. It was like all like over here, and that looks bad.
Oh, gotcha.
So I decided to bring it back to the center, you know, reel it back in here.
Back to center. Ed Matthews, your tie is also fabulous and straight.
Well, I appreciate it. Sometimes mine does, just like Christian's. It'll kind of go to one side here. Yeah, got to have it in line. Got to look good.
It's so funny. I remember anchoring weekends with Ed when he used to wear bow ties, and there were a couple of viewers who would always keep him on his toes, making sure that that bow tie was very, very straight. It could never be lopsided.
And they're hard to keep straight. I'll tell you what, they are, but I still enjoy wearing them.
You look good in them.
Thank you.
Maybe we can get you in one tomorrow.
Ooh, maybe.
Or maybe the humidity will be so bad that you'll be like, get me out of this suit.
Won't wear a tie at all.
Exactly.
Oh.
All right, let's talk about weather outside.
Yeah, Mike, is that not a good transition, Christian?
I don't know. I guess that was my cue to be quiet and start talking about weather. So here we are. Let's talk about weather. As we look outside right now, a mix of sun and clouds across the Piedmont. We had a few showers across the area this morning, mainly in our southern counties, Davidson County, Randolph County. Asheboro got in on some good rain early on this morning. Now that's all kind of moved off to the east toward the Raleigh area. High pressure in control of our weather, but a little disturbance swinging by is what gave us those showers this morning. As it pushes on by, high pressure regains control of our weather, but over the next couple of days, it'll start to move offshore and shift down to the south. As it does that, it's really what we call kind of the westward extension of the Bermuda High. So we get all of our warm air moving in from the south. We also pull humidity in the form of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico and off of the Atlantic Ocean as well. So it really puts us in that very summer-like pattern that we are used to. Now, you know, yesterday we had that nice break in humidity. Very short-lived because it's coming back today. As you look at what happens, we didn't really get rid of it. With our cold front, we kind of just pushed it out of the way momentarily. Now it's starting to build back. Notice dew points are already back to 70 in the Charlotte area, not too far to our south. We're still in the 50s here in the Piedmont, but you'll notice that humidity increasing as we go throughout the day, and it'll build back and likely stick with us for quite some time as we head into a brand new month in the month of July. So for today, a partly cloudy sky. Most of us will stay dry as we head into the afternoon. Low to mid 80s for the afternoon for those afternoon high temperatures. Overnight, partly cloudy as we fall back into the mid 60s here in the Triad. Low to mid 60s in the foothills and up into the mountains. The higher elevations slightly get a little bit cooler there. Meanwhile, down in the tropics, we still have potential tropical cyclone 2. No, it's not Bonnie. And we're just kind of sitting and twiddling our thumbs until it becomes Bonnie. It does have tropical storm force winds right now, and the satellite image that you see there does look impressive, but we don't really have a lot of good structure. There's no real low-level circulation, and we actually don't have a center of circulation yet, so we can't officially name it a tropical storm. So when that happens, hurricane hunters are actually going to fly that storm a couple times today and see if they can locate that. Once they do, it'll officially become Tropical Storm Bonnie. It's going to be a Caribbean storm, though, so no issue for us in the Carolinas. Back here at home, 7-day forecast, mid-80s today. By tomorrow, we're back to the typical summertime stuff with upper 80s, nearing that 90-degree mark, and we'll hover around 90 as we go throughout the holiday weekend with a low chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. A little better chance for your Sunday and Monday, but they'll still be hit or miss, and not everybody's going to get one. So go ahead with all of your weekend plans. Your 4th of July plans should be okay. Just keep that News 2 Radar app handy and be ready to dodge a shower or storm if it pops up.
Right before we get to our conversations, we want to talk about a developing story in Winston-Salem. We're learning more about a fight and gunfire at the Target there. It sent customers scrambling and led to an hours-long investigation.
Yeah, to be clear, no customers were hurt besides the person initially identified as the victim in this situation, and he's recovering at the hospital. But let's get to the latest with WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller breaking down what police have learned so far.
According to Winston-Salem police, the 25-year-old victim involved in this incident was attacked at this Target store off of Haynes Mall Boulevard. Police found him at a nearby hospital. Before locating the victim, police showed up at Target around 8:30 last night. Police say when they arrived, they got shoppers and staff out quickly. No one in the store at the time was hurt, but investigators say damage to the back of the store showed evidence that there was a tussle and a gun was fired. Police spoke with the victim, who they later found at the hospital. He had been hit in the face and head. He told police he was in the store when 3 men began assaulting him. In an attempt to get the 3 guys off of him, he fired a shot from his gun. He said the suspects continued to beat him, took his gun, and left the store in a white car with Ohio plates. Police say this was not a random act. They are looking into what led to this fight and are searching for the suspects involved. The victim is out of the hospital. He had minor injuries, and Target says they will reopen today on a delay at 9 a.m.
All right, let's take a look at some of your other headlines here. The ACC headquarters could move out of Greensboro, but would stay in the state, landing in Charlotte. The details were released in the state budget last night. And again, this is just a proposal, but North Carolina lawmakers would give the ACC $15 million to stay in the state. House Representative John Hardesser from Guilford County says the goal is to keep the ACC in North Carolina. The headquarters has been in Greensboro for 70 years, giving the city the nickname Turning Town. Now keep in mind, again, it's a proposal. The state budget needs to be approved. An ACC spokesperson did share a statement about the potential of the relocation. It said in part, quote, "The process regarding conversations about the location of ACC headquarters is ongoing. There is no time frame for them to make a decision. The proposal would require the ACC to host several postseason championship tournaments in North Carolina, including 2 men's basketball tournaments in Greensboro."
The ACC's potential move is just one of many items in the $28 billion budget proposed in the state. Here are a few others. $15 million will go to school resource officer grants with the goal of getting an officer in every elementary and middle school across the state. Another $32 million will go to school safety training and safety equipment. The budget proposal also includes pay raises, about 3.5% for most state workers. Teachers would see an average salary increase of 4%. Bus drivers and other school employees will get either a 4% pay raise or move to $15 an hour. There's nothing quite like a really, really good movie, one you can't forget. And when there's a sequel, you hope it's great, if not better than the first. But it's really hard to do. This morning, we want to know, what's your favorite movie sequel, or what movie do you think deserves a sequel?
The 1993 movie Hocus Pocus is back again, now for a Hocus Pocus 2. And that was nearly 30 years later, because the original was in 1993. So in Hocus Pocus 2, the three witches are back again, and they're dealing with two young girls who have lit the black flame candle. Disney says this movie will start streaming September 30th, about a month before Halloween, really too, but of course you can watch it throughout the Halloween season. So we want to know what movie you would like to see have a sequel. Pete Kelly said, A Few Good Men. There had to be a great story to be told after the trial ended. I agree. And Angela, one of our wonderful directors here, said, I'm with Tracy because we think alike. She said, Star Wars all the way. If I had to pick one, it would be The Empire Strikes Back. Yes, I agree. I love all of the Star Wars franchises. I also wrote on here that I love The Godfather, which are totally polar opposites on the movie spectrum screen. But I don't really know any romantic comedies that I would see again. Maybe Pretty Woman, if I had to think of one, but usually they're like action, adventure, or science fiction, not really romantic comedies.
Pitch Perfect 2 was decent. I would say that's kind of a romantic comedy, a musical at least. In some respects. Various opinions, I guess, about that.
It was a great movie.
Yeah,
both of them.
I loved Shrek 2. I thought that was great. A lot of people think that was better than the first just because of depth of character. It was a little bit different from the typical storyline of Shrek meets his soulmate type. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Yeah, but I really love the suspenseful movies, thrillers as they're called. Shutter Island had an ending that was like, oh my gosh, Leonardo DiCaprio. I won't spoil it for you, but I would love to see not necessarily a sequel, but just an epilogue, something explaining what happened next. I mean, just because it is one of those films that leaves you thinking for a while. Sixth Sense was the same way.
So is Shutter Island about like a camera, like
No.
photography? Okay.
It's about what was at that point now politically incorrect called an insane asylum, and an investigation into some things that were happening there that weren't necessarily by the book, and Leonardo DiCaprio is the detective. But at the end, you really don't expect what happens to him, so to say. Yeah. So.
I might have to watch that one. It sounds like that movie that Halle Berry was in. I can't remember it. But anyway, it sounds very familiar to that. Okay, so I'm going to Google that while, Christian, you kind of take us on your movie adventure.
Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier, I'm such a purist when it comes to movies. Like, I don't feel like there's always a second story.
Gothica.
Like Top Gun, okay. The original Top Gun, you had the story of Goose, and now Top Gun 2 is the story of Maverick. So it makes sense, right? But to continue on doing sequel after sequel after sequel, I think kind of loses a lot of what the movie is about. Like, you take the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Okay, 1 was great, 2 was all right, but I don't know if we need to go further than that. National Treasure was a great movie. I love that movie. And then we had 2 or 3 more after that, and then it started to get silly. There's not always a second story, but like, for instance, we were talking about this earlier, the Fast and the Furious, like, that should have been done a long time ago. Like, they keep doing the same things over and over again. So it has to be really, really good, and I'm really hard to impress with a sequel. And I haven't seen Top Gun 2 yet. I need to go see it, and I'm planning to go see it. But I hear that it is out of this world.
And he heard most of that from me.
I did, yeah.
He said, okay, Ed, I get it. I'm going to go see it. And Top Gun is the more recent movie that I've seen, or Maverick. And they compare the second one a lot with kind of flashbacks to the first one. I love that movie. I think it was a great movie. I don't know if they would make a third one, and I'm with Christian. I'm not so sure what the storyline would be, but I just like fast jets and fast action and all that stuff as well. One that popped into my mind from way back in the day, does anybody remember the movie Officer and a Gentleman with Richard Gere?
Yes.
I don't know if that would have deserved a sequel, But I think that was, I was going to look it up, but I didn't get that far before I came back on the air. I think it was in the late 70s or early 80s. Anyway, at that point in my life, I was seriously considering going to officers training school in Annapolis after I graduated from NC State. I wanted to get on a ship and track hurricanes all around the world. I thought that would have been a lot of fun. And then I got into this crazy business, and as they say, the rest is history. But man, when he walked out with that white Navy uniform on, I said, sign me up. It was awesome.
I remember wanting to be an African princess after I saw Coming to America.
Oh, okay.
Didn't happen that way. By the way, Shutter Island is on Hulu right now.
Okay.
So I can watch it.
You have to really pay attention. So like the kids are gonna have to be in bed, and yeah, I know. But it's just like one of those
Weekend
things you
night,
have
yeah.
to follow. So
Okay.
it's good. It's a good one though. Definitely makes you think.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Megan always has these great recommendations of things. So like you got me onto not becoming Elizabeth. It is Becoming Elizabeth.
Yep.
Yeah, so I missed the first two because it's not on demand yet.
Oh,
So I
okay.
missed the first two, so I caught the third episode yesterday.
Yeah.
But now I have to go back and watch the first two. And
mean,
the
we
third
love-
one was amazing.
We love everything about British history,
Yeah.
and so that time period is super fascinating. Unpopular opinion, though, I don't love like action adventure movies. I mean, Top Gun doesn't really sound that thrilling to me, but my husband would love to go with you guys. So if you go see it, please take him. He's been begging to see it. I also don't love Star Wars. I know.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I just can't get into it.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I mean, it was the thing, you know, the generation, you know. Star Wars was like just everywhere. It was just like,
I remember that, but
Star Wars is one of those things, like, I have enjoyed the ones that I've watched, but I couldn't tell you really what the storyline is, or how to actually,
It's so
or really how to
clear.
follow, you know, each movie progressively.
well, listen, I will be happy to walk you through each one. It would take too long and people would drop off this feed in an instant, so I won't do it. But there's just, it's also romantic, but there's action, and even though we know it's not like real, I mean, there's a sense of like good has to overcome evil. I mean, that's like the basis of every great story, right? Good always wins. And so this is like the best example of that I can name of, you know, good beating evil. Ta-da.
there you go.
My
For that
soliloquy.
explanation.
Sorry. Okay. A lot of people do love Star Wars, but there are a few people sharing unpopular opinions and confessions on here as well. Okay.
Megan Malaris.
I know, right? Yeah, Bobby said he's going to see Top Gun Maverick on Sunday. Lakai responded to you about Pretty Women, thinks it's a pretty good chick flick, but you know, others could enjoy it as well. Let's see, got to scroll back up here. Bobby loves the movie Tombstone. LeVar said Star Wars and Star Trek both. Carrie said fried green tomatoes and steel magnolias. Good choices there. We talked earlier about how Fast and Furious just has so many.
Oh my gosh.
So many sequels. They just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Kind of regurgitating similar storylines, just in a different setting. Ocean's 11, kind of the same thing.
Some things are ready for an end.
Yeah.
Some things, I mean, and
Wrap it up.
everybody has a different opinion
Right.
about their favorite movies. Not one of mine. Although I would love for another Cars to come out. We watch Cars 1, 2, and 3 on the regular. I personally like Cars 1 and 3 more than I like Cars 2, but you know, whatever. I just would love a Cars 4 because I want to see if Mater and his girlfriend at the end of 3, you know, actually like get together, or if like Lightning McQueen and Sally like get married, and like what if, you know, he was starting to like age out of like racing, so what if they have like children who are now racing? Yeah.
Whoop. It's all going over our heads.
You've seen Cars.
I honestly don't. Maybe the first
be a
one.
big
I don't
love
know.
story
But
now.
my children are still like almost to that point where I
Okay.
think Christian might be able to start watching some movies here and there, but still a little bit too
I
young
see.
to really, you know, enjoy them or sit still for long enough.
That was
or
like
me to enjoy
1993, so I
them.
thought like, yeah.
That's still my problem too, sitting still long enough for them.
Must be something about Christian.
Which is why his tie is always.
Hey, look, it's still straight. It stayed
It is.
straight this
Is
entire
there-
show.
This might be a question that is so random, but is there something in your suit jacket that can keep it straight? Or like, how do you do that? Do you tuck it into your shirt?
Just this form keeps it straight.
Just
Sorry.
the form.
No.
Oh, the form, he says.
Yeah.
My
No, there's
stellar
nothing that
physique keeps it straight.
Yeah, okay.
You know, not popular anymore, but there used to be a thing called a tie clip.
Yeah.
And I
Tie
think
clip.
they are way out of date now. I don't think I've ever seen a man wear one of those, at least in recent memory. But that's what kept your tie straight.
Because that would be functional and also a very good idea, but apparently,
Yeah.
do they not look nice?
I think they just kind of went out the window.
Went out
Not
the
very
window.
popular.
Okay.
And you know how it is. You know, it worked well. It did its job. So let's throw it out the window. Okay.
We have a. This is just some inside behind the scenes here. We have a photo shoot at News 2 today.
We do.
And if I were to wear a tie clip, I'd be the only person in that photo wearing a tie clip.
You know, it takes
Yes,
one
you
person to
would.
start bringing something back in style. So maybe
Also
you're
a
that
good point.
person. I mean, we've seen low-rise jeans come back, the boyfriend jeans come back, crop tops come back, baggy shoulders come back. So
Shoulder
don't
pads.
say never.
Maybe I could be a trendsetter. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I will be taking a poll at the photo shoot, Christian.
Carol's dad wore a tie clip, she said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember my dad wore them all the time too, but again, he was, you know, working professional decades ago. So
I have a couple. I have one that, a monogram one that's got my initials on it, but that was more of a keepsake and a gift that doesn't get worn.
oh, okay. Well, look, I'm being educated on something. Did you know this? The tie
About the
clips were,
clips?
yeah.
I've seen the tie clips.
No, but that they were out.
not necessarily. I
Exactly.
mean, I've not seen my husband wear one, but
Good information.
bring them back.
I know what to get my husband
never
for
have a crooked
Christmas.
tie.
Like, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. All right, guys. It looks like we have totally gone off the rails here. But Carol said my dad wore a tie clip, and Belinda said the clip holds them in place. Rhonda says I think tie clips look classy. So might be something to consider, y'all. All right. Let's take another look at the forecast. How about that?
Let's do it. Yeah, I think overall a pretty nice day in the Piedmont. We'll see some extra clouds, and we couldn't rule out an isolated shower or storm. And our friends to the south have already had some of that rain, but don't expect much at all. We're on our way to about 84. And then Thursday and Friday, mainly just hot and dry. The humidity really comes back in full force for the rest of the week and the weekend. We'll be up around 88 on Thursday, around 90 for the highs coming up on Friday and Saturday. There will be a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms scattered about Saturday, Sunday, and for the 4th of July. But you know, that is just the typical kind of weather that we have in July, and absolutely no reason not to make weekend plans. I think overall it's going to be nice. Just keep in mind you might have to dodge a shower or storm in the afternoon and evening. Ready for the holiday weekend.
Ready for the holiday weekend. Ready for the spectacular day off that I'm excited about. The fireworks. Are you off on Monday? Exciting.
Well, everybody leave me here, okay? Christian's
does it
off.
all.
You can, yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. You know,
Take
it might
the
as well be
helm.
me. I'm still going to have my Nathan's hot dogs. I was telling Christian earlier, can't wait for my Nathan hot dogs on the 4th of July.
With chili and slaw, right?
Oh, yeah, the works, all the way.
Everything but onions.
Onions too.
Oh, okay.
Mustard, ketchup, slaw, onions, chili.
You
got
must
it.
wear a bib for
not
that.
I'm getting severely hungry.
Me too. Good time to exit. All right, thanks so much for joining us on After GMS for great conversations, those planned and unplanned. They were all fun. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.